If you've ever had this feeling that something was terribly wrong with the world that we live in, but you couldn't figure out just what it was, then you've come to the right place. Secret societies, mystery religions, and the Illuminati have been controlling our reality since the beginning of time. But not anymore, because there is an awakening happening, and you are about to become a part of it. Wake up, because this is a call for an uprising.
This is a call for an uprising. Welcome to today's show. I want to cover another symbol that some people have seen. You probably don't know what it is. And that's the triple tau. And look, there's going to be some words I mispronounce because I'm going to reference some of these satanic gods, or what the Masons refer to as gods, in their teachings. And I mean, the names are so embarrassing, they're not worth pronouncing correctly. But the triple tau, you've seen this symbol before. A lot of you'll see pins and emblems that have it on that Freemasons wear. You probably never notice what it is because, right, like I've said a million times, none of us are trained to be able to recognize what these symbols are. They communicate like that, and the rest of society communicates like a bunch of bumbling idiots because that's what they turn everyone into by teaching them nothing but a fake history of the world and telling us that, one world government plots are all conspiracy theories. And there's no people behind the scenes trying to manipulate, yet there's a Freemason lodge in every town in America. Not only that, try driving down a highway, okay, and tell me you don't see almost each exit. Wherever the Mason Lodge is, there'll be a sign for it. That's your tax money at work right there, letting you know that, there's the Mason Lodge, and then they'll have the Lions Club and these other lodges on there, the Eastern Star Lodge. Right? Why do you think that is? Huh? I mean, think about why would they be doing that? Well, in case somebody from out of town is in town and head to their lodge and do, some homoerotic activity together, because that's pretty much all these people do. Now, the triple tau is a symbol of the Royal Archmason. I know, real nerd stuff. It represents the Mason who has reached either the 7th degree of the York Rite or the 13th degree of the Scottish Rite. And it's supposed to embody within the attributes of the Godhead, the Holy Trinity. And pretty much what it is it's just blasphemy, because this is when they declare themselves to be the great I am that I am, identifying themselves as gods. And the Mason will identify himself with Satan's promise in the garden, that ye shall be as gods, right? Which everything these people do is to mock and do the opposite of God's will, because they read the Bible the opposite way. They interpret it as our Father in heaven is evil and selfish, and that Satan was here to free man and all this other crap. You see in Genesis chapter 3, verse 5, for God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. Okay? So this is them, paying homage to that and saying, well, they're of that seed and they worship Satan. They have all the knowledge and we're all just a bunch of idiots. Okay, another thing with the Tau, it actually has a connection to these people who love bagels. So that's a surprise too. And Jewish spiritual powers. And the lecture of the 7th or Royal Arch degree of the York Rite. And I know when you hear it, you're just like, all right, this sounds boring, complicated. Just look at it this way. There's levels inside of Masonry, just like a pyramid. It's the same thing with all of these occults. It's the same thing with Scientology. You graduate and you go up to different levels and then you learn new things, right? It's almost like feeding the hand, right? You're supposed to want to graduate, just like going through the school system. You want to get to the next grade, right? So you can finally reach the finish line. But it's in the school system, you reach the finish line, you get a diploma, and then you realize you've learned nothing but crap, and you don't even know how to properly pay your taxes or do anything worthwhile or substantial in the world, and then you need to figure out figure out some type of trade that you might be good at, right? Something with your hands or something like that. But that's after the fact. If you waste so many years of your life learning nothing, like the Dewey Decimal System. Ooh, that got us all so far. Dewey Decimal. So the Royal Arch this is just a degree as you grow higher. But what these people learn as they grow higher is that Lucifer, they're told, is the god of this world, which Lucifer is the god of this world. And that's who they worship. And they're asked the question, are you a royal archmason? And his answer is required to be, I am that I am. So in other words, in this degree's ritual, the Mason is acknowledging that the devil is his sacred lord. Now, the devil has many names, right? Beelzebub, and some say Lucifer, Satan, okay? They have the geist in Freemasonry of calling him Jabulan, or just call him Jabba Loser, whatever you want to call him, because, why acknowledge the thing? And what the Mason's now doing is declaring that he himself, a mere man, is the great I am. In other words, saying that he is God. And this is what Freemasons are taught. Okay? And again, this symbol is the triple tau, which is the symbol of the Royal Archmason. Now listen, there's nothing more embarrassing than being a Freemason. Yeah, being a Satanist, but what's the difference, right? All of these groups and organizations are nothing but prideful pricks. That's what they are. They think they know what's best for you. They think that they're going to make good men great. In reality, they probably share toilet paper with each other used. These people are just absolutely out of their minds. And most of the people that you find out become Freemasons are people who are just extremely down on their luck in life and were able to network and get in because they needed help, because they were so talentless and pathetic that they need the brotherhood to help one another out and, get on their knees for one another to help each other get ahead, while the rest of society does what they're told of going to school and learning these things, and then they're sitting there with a diploma, scratching their head going, well, I'm really glad I went to school I got a bachelor's degree in business. Does that mean I could work at any business? I'm glad I got my degree in economics. I'm glad I got my degree in communications. Everyone's just sitting around with their thumb up their rear end going, how did this happen? I'm 20-something years old. And now, the fake network that they tell you exists, like, oh, you're going to graduate. And then from there, all you have to do is just hand in a resume at a job that's hiring and go interview, and then you get the job. Meanwhile, like 90% of people who end up with bachelor's degrees end up working at really bad entry-level jobs that have no potential growth for them and really no potential meaning. Most jobs don't, right? I always get a kick out of people who comment on my channel. They're like, go work in an office, what do you have, Patreon and stuff like that. Even though I do work, but, not in an office. I've been there, done that, like many people. We'll talk about worthless, just a waste of time for the most part. You're sitting there doing sales or marketing. It's crap. Total waste. So anyway, I'm going on a rant off the topic, but this is just another symbol that you'll see a lot of times on their hats. They'll have emblems of the pins. And there's just so many of these symbols that we see, and we're just like, what is that? 3 T's merged together? Is that an I and a T put together as one? Right? And it's all stupid stuff, but this is how they communicate and recognize one another. And the sad thing about the world we live in is that these Masons actually do more to help one another than most Christians do to help one another. Most Christians are at one another's throat about, he doesn't believe that the earth is flat or the earth is round, and he doesn't believe that hell is eternal, and he does. And they just want to fight over it. Or, call for an uprising, mean tone, and I'm too weak to be able to listen to him. I could tell he's not of the fruit because he doesn't cry in his videos like other Christians. Meanwhile, these guys they don't care. They're helping each other out. They have a one cause. And the one cause we all should have is to lead people to Jesus Christ so they can be saved and have salvation. Their cause? Destruction. Order out of chaos. The stuff you see going on in the world today. That's their cause. That's what they care about. Flushing the rest of society down a toilet because they believe that their end game and their goal of this making good men great and bettering society through their teaching, because they want everyone to be taught the same things they're taught, right? And that's why they target D. Malays, and they target the young girls and the Rainbow Girls and the Job's Daughters to pollute them. And eventually teach them that Lucifer is God. But they'll get you a job here, or they'll do something there for you, and they'll be real nice to your face, right? So meanwhile, these people are working together for their order out of chaos goal, and the rest of society is just bickering amongst each other, left versus right, Christian versus Christian, white versus black. And these guys are just laughing all the way to the bank, literally, because it's a joke. They're controlling politics. And listen, I know, the Masons aren't the controllers. They're the bottom level. But all these people who are in it, who get to a certain degree, end up being, even the mayor of your town, council leader, people who in power, of control, because it's all about control. So, again, I went off topic a little bit about the triple Tau is what the video was about. And these people believing and declaring themselves, I am that I am. I mean, it's as blasphemous as it gets, and it's embarrassing. These guys are sitting there in their tighty whities, got the skid marks going and the blindfold on, holding swords up to each other's neck, playing Dungeons and Dragons, telling each other that they're gods. Yeah? Let's see how much of a god you guys are when the trumpets sound. Those tighty whities will get a lot more dirty, I promise you that. I thank you for listening to today's show. God bless all of you and your families.